Hi YouTube, welcome back to my channel. This is a video about the Hourglass Ambient Lighting blushes primarily, although I have also got the powder palette, the limited, well it was limited edition, I think it's now in the permanent collection. And I've been hanging around about doing this video for quite a long time. I bought the two blushes at least a month ago, maybe a bit longer, and I I think I showed you probably when they came, but didn't really talk about them very much because I wanted to really give them a good test. I guess the reason I've kind of hesitated is that I can't believe that I'm not that keen on them. And the reason I say I can't believe that, because I'm usually fairly decisive about what I like and what I don't like, is twofold. First of all, I am a huge fan of the Hourglass Ambient Lighting powders, or I am of the one that I already had when I bought these blushes, which I bought last summer in New York before we could get them over here at Space NK. That's pretty dim, but it's the ambient lighting powder in Luminous Light, which was the one I picked. And you can see it's got some sort of little holes in it. I've used it a lot. I absolutely love it. If you're familiar with these products, you know that, if you dig in like that, you get a kind of sheen. But when you apply it over the face, it just gives a really airbrushed, pretty sheen, which is, I guess, for me, the effect is slightly similar to the MAC Mineralize finishes, or some of them. I'm very fond, or was before I got this powder, in the one called Soft and Gentle, which is one of the few products I've actually gone through a whole palette of it and bought another one, and I really liked the effect of that. The effect of this is slightly more subtle than the Soft and Gentle mineralized powder, and therefore I prefer it. So I have been a great fan of the powder, and I tried to get the limited edition three-way palette when it came out at Space NK over here. It sold out really, really quickly. It's back in. I've got it. I like it. I'm not sure the three different powders look all that different. I know my lighting's not great. This is early evening sunshine, but yeah, I'm a fan of the central one. I really like the quite light ones, but they all work quite well, and I'm still a fan of the lighting ambient powders. So I was really expecting to love the blushes, also because they seem to get almost universal love on blogs and on YouTube. Everyone just raved about them, so much so that they sold out at most of the stockists before I could get my hands on any of them in the kind of first run. And then when they were restocked, I had at least been able to do a bit of investigation and decided the two that I would go for to begin with, because I was absolutely contemplating. They were so fantastic that I was going to want, all or at least several of them. So I went for Dim Infusion, which is a kind of corally pink mixed with the dim ambient lighting. Now I have got the dim in here now. I didn't have it at the time. And then the other one, which looks one of the most boring in the palette, is the Mood Exposure, which I'm not sure what they mix it with there, but I just thought it was probably going to work well on my colouring, because quite cool plummy tones actually look quite good on my pale skin. So those were the two I picked. Now, I have swung back and forth as to whether I like these products. I think I am going to keep them. There was a period when I thought, after testing them, I was just going to get rid of them on eBay, which is what I do with my, bad purchases, especially if things that are quite popular. My main gripe with them is they have very, very, very poor longevity as blushes. Literally, I can get a really pretty effect on my cheek when I apply, and it's gone within an hour, maybe 2 hours, and that's whether I wear primer, whether I wear foundation, whether I wear BB cream, whether I powder over, whether I use my Urban Decay, spray to fix it. They just don't last. The best result so far as longevity is concerned is if I apply a cream blush underneath, and I have the Chanel cream blushes. I do like those. I find them quite difficult to apply in the sense they need a lot of blending, so they're not a quick fix, but if I've got time, then they're great. If I apply those and then apply these on top, they do last longer. But, honestly, that's a huge faff to get a blush to last more than a couple of hours. Now, I'm really, really surprised that nobody talks about this or writes about it on blog posts, because I can't believe my skin, which is dryish on my cheeks, but nothing exceptional, is so unusual and so different from everyone else that they're lasting on everyone else but not on me. Now, I will admit I'm not a great one for wanting to reapply my makeup at frequent intervals. I'm prepared to spend a bit of time getting it on first thing, but then I want it to stay on through my working day, at least until I'm getting ready to go out in the evening. So I am quite demanding of reasonable longevity in products, but I accept there are huge differentials, and even Chanel blushes, which are my favourite blushes, to be honest. Not all the formulations are equally good, but basically they're all very reliable. And I reckon to get, 5-6 hours wear out of them before they need a touch-up. The most longevity comes from the cream blushes or from Tom Ford. Tom Ford, you stick it on, it stays where you put it, end of. But I've never come across such a poor staying power before. The other thing is they are very, very powdery. So I don't know if you can see this one, which is probably the one that I've used the most simply because of the time of year. I've kind of wanted a coral. That the marbling of the colour has really melded into and kind of receded into the powder. So the more I use it, it's becoming less of a blush and more of a powder. I really have to pack it on to get any blush. And given I'm quite fair-skinned, so usually show up a colour, that's not really 100% satisfactory. They are soft, they feel nice on the skin, they're forgiving to apply, partly because the pigmentation isn't that great, so if you're a bit heavy-handed it doesn't matter too much. I have read comments about them showing up pores. I haven't found that personally, and it is a pretty effect when you first apply, which is why at the end of the day, I've kept them. But you can really see it's not a huge colour payoff. Actually, that one's showing up better on the monitor than it is in real life. This one, which I've used more, you've really got to pack it on to get the colour. So, would I recommend them? No, I don't think I would. I certainly won't be buying any more of them, which is surprising to me given how highly rated they were by many other bloggists, I probably will keep these two, partly because I've used them quite a lot and try and use them up. And as I say, using them in conjunction with other cheek products seems to work better. So I guess the lesson is, just because a particular range does one fantastic product, like the ambient lighting powders, which I still maintain are a fantastic product, doesn't mean their other products are going to live up to the hype. But it's a bit Emperor's new clothes, in my opinion, that when there is a lot of hype, particularly where products are freely supplied for review, then people don't particularly call out the fact that the product really isn't living up to the hype. That's my cynical view, I have to say, or maybe it's just me. I'd be really interested if anyone else has used the ambient light blushes and is disappointed, as I have been. I'd really like to know what your comments are, or alternatively, if you really love them, why you love them, and particularly if you found that they last well. Is there anything that I'm doing wrong in the way I apply? I generally apply over primer and foundation or BB cream, not to bare skin, and I often use a fixative spray as well. But is there anything more I could be doing to get better lasting power out of these blushes? So I'd love to hear your feedback. And if not, I hope you're all well and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.